How to write a literature review. Before you can write an effective literature review, you need to understand what it is. An academic literature review is a critical summary and evaluation of existing research on a specific topic. Its purpose is to provide an overview of what is known about the topic, identify gaps or inconsistencies in the literature, and suggest areas for further research. It is an essential requirement for your marker, supervisor, or reviewer to see you have done due diligence for your project and have put in the necessary time and effort to educate yourself on relevant topics. It requires research by reading, and the earlier you start on it, the better. A literature review for your essay or dissertation is a summary of the existing conversation on your topic area that your work is joining. Or to think of it another way, building the stage upon which your work is performed to an audience. We always need to know some sort of context or backstory for us to make sense of what we are seeing or reading. Let's look at an example, using the topic of consultancy specializing in leadership education. Generally, it's best to start like a funnel, broadly setting the basic relevant context before zoning in on the key areas. Taking our example, you could set the scene in the introduction or background section by introducing consultancy in the B2B sphere. What it is, how it operates, key players, and industry trends. This helps ease the reader into the world of your project who are likely to be unfamiliar with it. The next step would be to open your literature review by exploring leadership as a concept. This would entail defining leadership, potential models or theories, example studies of leadership, areas of controversy or disagreement. Then focus tightly in on leadership in education. How has leadership been taught so far? Have there been any studies on this? Any flaws or areas to improve? Then you should focus on some key papers that align closely with your project. For example, have there been previous qualitative or quantitative work on this topic that have inspired you? You should also look for areas of agreement or conflict amongst these papers. Identifying nuances or issues gives more credibility for your project. Finding specific nuances gives your work an impressive sense of depth and criticality for the reader, and you will appear a knowledgeable authority on the subject. A weak literature review will be very general, making simplistic claims, and claim to be innovating based on a small amount of reading. To finish, you should identify the existing literature's flaws and where your work sits amongst this, what research gap it fills. It could be a groundbreaking new study, or could be more incremental, such as studying university students' thoughts on leadership education when the literature so far has focused on young professionals. This is a great and confident way to end this chapter. And that's all a literature review needs to be. The most potentially challenging part is doing the reading, but it is essential for writing a good literature review and ultimately a relevant project. The more you read, the more knowledgeable you will be, and ultimately your chances of scoring higher in an essay or dissertation because it gives informed critical weight to your work. It can help confirm, refine, or completely change your project for the better. It will also become highly useful when writing the analysis of your findings, as you can triangulate back to concepts and threads you identified in your review. Imagine doing a project on EasyJet TikTok marketing, only to then discover there was already a paper published on this exact same topic. Your supervisor or reviewer won't be impressed, but by consulting this EasyJet paper, you could identify something in it that hasn't been done or neglected. In fact, most papers often end with ideas for further research which you could act upon, building upon their work and taking it into a new direction. A poor literature review will be very general, exhibiting only a surface understanding of the topic, and will lack depth or specificity. Some elements of your work will have always been done before, so by saying there is no research in this area is highly unlikely and will irritate your reviewer, especially if they can Google Scholar a useful paper in 3 seconds. Here's a step-by-step list on how you can effectively conduct a literature review. 1. Define your scope and purpose. Clearly outline the specific research question or topic you want to explore. Determine the scope of your review, e.g., time frame, geographical focus, specific aspects of the topic. 2. Search for relevant literature. Use academic databases, e.g., Google Scholar, Scopus, your university library, to find peer-reviewed articles, books, conference proceedings, and other scholarly sources related to your topic. Keywords and Boolean operators and or not can help refine your searches. 3. Evaluate sources. Assess the credibility, relevance, and quality of the sources you find. Look for peer-reviewed articles published in reputable journals, authoritative books, and contributions from experts in the field. 4. Organize. Create a structure for your literature review. This could be chronological, organized by publication date, thematic, grouped by key themes or concepts, methodological, grouped by research methods used, or theoretical, organized around different theoretical perspectives. 5. Synthesize. Summarize and synthesize the main findings and arguments of the literature. Identify key themes, debates, and patterns across the sources. Compare and contrast different studies, noting their strengths and weaknesses. 6. Identify gaps. Highlight any gaps, inconsistencies, or unresolved questions in the existing research. Discuss why these gaps are significant and how your own research could contribute to addressing them. 7. Write your review. Structure your review with an introduction that defines the topic and its importance, a body that presents the synthesized literature, and a conclusion that summarizes the key findings and discusses implications for future research. 8. Cite sources. Use a consistent citation style, e.g. APA, Harvard, to attribute ideas and findings to their original sources. Keep track of all references and make sure your citations are accurate. 9. Revise and refine. After drafting your literature review, revise it for clarity, coherence, and logical flow. Ensure that your arguments are well supported by evidence from the literature. 10. Update as necessary. Literature reviews are dynamic and should be updated periodically to reflect new research and developments in the field. By following these steps, you can now conduct a thorough and well-organized literature review that contributes to the scholarly conversation on your chosen topic. This should help you on your way to a good literature review, whether it be a student or scholarly submission. Thanks for watching this video from ResearchGap. If you learned something, please like and subscribe so we can create more videos. If you're an academic and want a video made, please contact us via the methods below.